Now that, my friends, is how you do a closing argument. According to the press, Christy Bowles yesterday in the Larry Millete trial, she's the assistant district attorney, she delivered what they're calling a blistering closing argument. The jury was given a nice 6-day weekend. Meanwhile, the attorneys and the judge could hammer out some of the details of the jury instruction, but also to catalog all the evidence to make sure they had everything they needed to make this decision. They landed on 4 different options for this jury, which is a little bit surprising, but here are the 4 options. So there's a first-degree murder, a second-degree murder, a voluntary manslaughter, and an involuntary manslaughter. The jury can pick any of those. Now, the judge decided that the jury does not have to be unanimous in how Maya died. So they don't all have to agree how she died. They just have to agree that she died and that Larry did it. Now, the defense fought against this. They wanted a unanimous kind of how, but the judge says, nope, the jury does not have to agree. The instruction to the jury is going to be, you don't all have to agree on how. You just have to agree that she is deceased and that Larry is the reason. And then it's one of these things. A little more detail. And then was reading this. This is what one of the local news stations provided. So if it's first-degree murder, what the jury is saying is that Larry intended to kill Maya, but also planned it in advance. Second-degree murder is Larry intended to kill Maya, but the decision to kill was made rashly. Voluntary manslaughter means Maya's killing was intentional, but lacked premeditation and occurred because Larry was provoked in some manner. And then there's involuntary manslaughter, which means the killing was unintentional and resulted from recklessness or criminal negligence. And an example that they gave was that Larry may have poisoned Maya with the hemlock, but wasn't intending to kill her. He was just trying to make her sick and accidentally killed her. So that would be involuntary manslaughter. The sentencing differences. First-degree murder carries 25 to life. Of course, that's what the prosecutor wants. Involuntary manslaughter likely be 2 years in state prison, but Larry's already spent now 4 incarcerated. Deputy District Attorney Christy Bowles hammered away at her closing yesterday for 3 hours. I can't even tell you how great it was. Very articulate. She did a really good timeline. They don't have to provide a motive, but attorneys are smart enough to know that we as just out of general curiosity, we kind of like to know why. So it helps if there's a why. She talked about the why. She talked about the means, the opportunity, everything. The defense has a chance to do their closing arguments today. I don't know what they're going to say, but I will be back with that video later. Here's what Christy has to say. These are just a couple of excerpts. Maya would not, could not, and did not leave her children. She told Larry we are done and that she wanted a life without him, but he would have none of that. Larry exhibited every symptom of being an abuser who controlled her. He used spellcasters to make her dependent on him, but messages got darker when she set her mind on divorce. He wanted her to suffer pain, injuries, broken bones. He is capable of wanting her dead because he can't fathom a life without her. Larry spent months researching neurotoxins from the hemlock plant, which was found in a vial in the home. The only reasonable conclusion is that Maya is deceased and that Larry killed her. She wasn't planning a great escape. Maya was planning a life without him. She also talked a lot, and there was a detail that was mentioned that freaks me out a little bit. She mentions Larry's lack of concern, right? For months and months and months and months and months, he's obsessed. Where is she? What's she doing? What's she wearing? She's wearing her wedding ring. Is she there? Is she there? Is she there? Call me, call me, call me. He's frantic, looking for his wife when she's just a short distance away at her brother's house. Now he thinks she's gone missing. She's run away forever. And he doesn't call anybody. He doesn't seem concerned that she hasn't been seen in 12 hours. And they talked about that scene at the house where the brother and the father, so this is all, the picture is becoming more clear. The brother shows up at the house. The older kids are there. Larry has just arrived home, and he says, although he told his family he was going to work all day, the work started calling, looking for him. So that blew that alibi. So he had to say he was at the beach with his 4-year-old, which nobody ever thinks he was. But anyway, he comes home after it's 6 p.m. The brother shows up at the house. The brother's like, where the hell have you been? Where's Maya? And Larry's kind of like, chill, dude, I was gone all day. My phone lost its battery. But then he goes over and he turns on the phone and is able to use it right away. So they know the phone battery's not dead. The brother and the little girl are at the bedroom door knocking. Like, the brother's banging on the door. The little girl's kicking the door. They're trying to wake up Maya, get Maya to come to the door. I mean, when the kids tell you they haven't eaten, they haven't been fed all day, and they're banging on the door. They're banging on the door. You're watching your own child fucking bang on the door looking for her mother, begging mother to open the door. And Papa is there, Maya's dad is there, and he turns to Larry and he says, "We got to get in that room. Can you unlock the door?" And Larry suddenly goes, "Oh, yeah. I mean, I got a key. It's right here." Would have taken the strength of 3 men to fucking hold me back. I'd have killed him right then and there. I would have been like, "Are you kidding me? You're watching your hungry daughter kick the door, begging for her mom to open, and you're standing there with a fucking key in your pocket." Like, I'm appalled by him. He wasn't the one that called the police. He never called a hospital. He never participated in any of the searches. He didn't act concerned. In fact, they said during the closing statement that when the sister, Mary Chris, called the police, she called the police, it was like almost 10 o'clock at night, like 9:51 or something on that Saturday night. So last time anyone sees her is on Thursday. No one can reach her all day Friday. That's the day of the 12-hour disappearance. Saturday, the whole family's looking for her. They were all supposed to go to Big Bear for the daughter's birthday. No one can find Maya. That night, the sister's like, "I've had it. I'm calling the police." Because Larry's whole, like, "She must have just gone for a hike. She'll be back." Like, his whole nonchalance is making everybody crazy. And so the sister calls the police. But based on the computer records from the home, like just an hour or so before the sister calls the police, Larry is on one of the home computers watching porn. Because he's so fucking concerned about his wife. It's a really good thing I'm not on Larry's jury. The circumstantial evidence in this case is overwhelming. And the jury will be provided with the binders. I've spoken about this in earlier. They have binders, like multiple binders of printed documents of all the emails and the text chats and everything he had with all the spellcasters. So they'll be able to go page by page by page, which tells me it's going to be a long jury deliberation. They're going to go page by page and read all of that and see how frantic he was to essentially harm his wife or have his wife harmed. So I don't know. The defense will do their closing arguments today, and I will be back either tonight or tomorrow morning as we begin jury deliberation.